Legit thought that tree stump was a person and it freaked me out. Okay, so I thought I'd talk about camera confidence today, which is, this isn't like my niche. This is just something that I always find really interesting because every once in a while, like these videos will pop up in like my For You page or whatever. And I wanted to talk about it for a second because there are a couple things that I did inadvertently to get comfortable on camera. And I'm just out in the woods. I just thought I would just pop on and share this with you. The first one was I started making video journals just for myself instead of like writing and journaling. I had like a shoulder injury, so I wasn't able to really write anything. And so I was making myself little video journals and it felt weird to do it, but I'm so glad I have them. Like I have hours and hours and hours of footage of things that I've gone through and dealt with. But more importantly, I just got used to being comfortable talking to the camera, like having it be a friend. Like, you're my best friend right now. And I just got so used to it that it wasn't even really a big deal anymore. And I mean, I was sharing like all sorts of like crazy things. I was telling the camera jokes. I was just being my goofy usual self in front of a camera that no one was gonna see. And I knew no one was gonna see it. And I think that that's kind of where we get tripped up. Is that we have in our heads that it has to be like perfect, or it needs to be a certain way, or we have to look a certain way in order for other people to see it. And if there's a way to get around that, I think the best way is to just chill out a little bit and make it your friend. Tell yourself no one ever has to see this video. I'm jumping in to interject because there are two things that I forgot to mention. One is that I was doing personal journals for myself, but I was also making practice videos. And this is important because when you do a practice video, you go in thinking, this is just practice, it's not something I'm gonna post. But after reviewing the footage, because you are relaxed and you're not even really thinking about posting it, you may find, like as for me, there are multiple videos on my channel in which I thought of it just as practice, but then looking back at the footage, I realized that it was actually gonna be a decent video once I edited it out. So there's that, and two, nothing is wasted. And I understand how sometimes we feel like we're wasting our time with things that maybe no one's gonna see, or that, you know, it's not gonna produce the results you're thinking. But you learn something every time you try, every time you practice. And you're gonna learn what you do want and what you don't want. And that is extremely powerful. And that is how you hone your art. That is how you hone your skills. So just remember, always remember that when you think something is an absolute flop, try to think about what you learned from it, because nothing is wasted. All right, back to the woods. And if you are feeling pressured, you're like, have like a deadline in your head, like that's often a lot of times with it too, right? It's like you only have so much time to film, you only have so much time, you know, to do all these things, right? And if you're beginning, like it's all good in the beginning. Like you're just trying, man, you know? And maybe you don't make the deadline. Maybe you don't make the deadline if you're just feeling so uptight, you know, like give yourself a little bit of a break. And it just requires a little bit of care for yourself, I think, because then once you're done filming, now you got to edit your stupid face. Now you got to look. Maybe I'm just speaking for myself here, but you got to look at your stupid face now. You're most likely going to hit pause at a point in which you got a double chin, you're all wrinkly, you're just like, you got a weird look on your face, like, and you're just like, oh my God, I'm so stupid. And it's gonna happen, and then you just get used to it. You get used to it. And the other way to get used to it is when you're watching other people's videos, you pause it when they make a weird face. Everyone does it. Everyone does it. Another thing too is if you go back to some of like your favorite YouTubers, right? Go to their videos tab, hit oldest, and you can see some of the earlier stuff. You can see how awkward they are. You can see how awkward their editing was. You can see the beginning. And honestly, it's so endearing. It's so nice to see that so many people go through this process. None of us are alone. We're all like in this, we all tend to just start in this like ugly duckling stage, you know, and that's all it is, you know, and it's like, yeah, you share it. People see you being weird and goofy and like, and awkward and strange and stumbling over your words. You're gonna lose your train of thought at some point. You might have to try to edit that out. It might not make sense if you do edit it out, so now you got to keep in the awkward part. Like, it's just, you know, we're all just people. We're all just humans. And I would definitely start making journals for yourself. I would definitely start getting to the point where you can make videos for yourself, knowing full well you're not going to post them. And from there, it just baby steps. It's baby steps. If you're scripting, you know, you got to memorize a script and all that. But you just take the baby steps to get there. You just kind of meander through. But ultimately, just be kind to yourself, man. Be kind to yourself. And if you make it feel very low stakes, that helps tremendously. And so when I was making those video journal entries just for me, just for myself, I just got comfortable doing it. And at some point, people may see some of those things. They may be a callback to a video. The amount of video ideas that I could pull from that footage is incredible. So it's actually really great, kind of a double dip. You know, you're getting multiple things out of it. It's gonna be all right, man. It's gonna be okay. It's a beautiful day. Maybe it's just maybe there's like a park or someplace like nice. And filming out in public, actually, that is frustrating. I am not good at that. I rolled up here, there was like one car in the parking lot, and then I get on the trail and there's like people like all over the place. I've started and stopped filming like multiple times because I still get really embarrassed about it. And I don't know, maybe that'll change, maybe it won't, but I'm sure it will, right? You never know. You never know. Throw caution to the wind. You never know what'll happen. Life's too short. We are all awkward in person. And I know that having a permanent record on the internet, which it's not, right? You can always private it at some point, but it's like people are seeing you that way, either now or in the future. But yeah, it's some of my earlier videos on here. I don't think I've actually privated anything, but there's some where I'm just like, I'm just having a hard, like stumbling over my words, you know, a lot. Or I talked really slowly too. So sometimes you just talk really slowly in the beginning, which I did, and it's like those videos are forever taking just because it took me so long to just say a sentence. But things always get better. You just practice. Things get easier. You just practice and make it play with it. It's all good, you know. And there have been like so many things that I started and then scrapped, and that's just kind of the way it is, you know. There have been times where I've gone quite a while without posting because I was trying to get like an idea out of my head and out into the world, and I just couldn't quite articulate it, or I couldn't quite get it together. But I can revisit those ideas later. So I just want to invite you to, you know, chill out a little bit. It's all good. I don't know if that was a squirrel. I don't know if that picked up on camera, but like all these limbs just started falling. Anyway. Do it scared too. Do it scared. No one, it's all fine. It's all fine. Anyway, enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself because it gets better. And you're gonna have video record of like how far you've come. How cool is that? You know, like there have been times, actually, oh man, with the accident, I was really, really injured. My recovery took, really it took a couple years to start to feel kind of like okay. And, but I really wish I had taken more footage of that part, because I would have loved to have had that documentation of just everything I overcame, everything I did to get to where I am. And there's so many things that I wish I had the energy and the willpower to record. So it's nice to have like documentation of all of those things, even if it feels a little cringy. Everyone's cringy. Everyone's cringy. It's fine. At some point, everyone's cringy. I do want to give you one last tip, and that is, if people are telling you to like make a niche and do all this stuff, I get it, but you gotta kind of find your footing, right? So what I wanted to offer is, instead of making a niche, just make something that just seems fun to make. Just sounds like a fun topic to talk about. I wasn't gonna talk about this today, but I was like really feeling like, I wanted to talk about it because I did struggle. But if I talk about the things that I feel inspired to talk about and play around with and kind of explore in those ways, it's just, it takes an element of heavy out of it, you know? Like, it's genuinely fun. It's just genuinely, it's just fun. This should be a fun thing, you know? Creating should always be fun. Keep your chin up. I'm almost back to the car, and take care of yourself. It's gonna be all right. Soldier on.